much. And as Joshua has indicated, we're all sorry that Dr. Gellman couldn't be here tonight. I can say that I'm one of those beneficiaries of his vast knowledge about transportation. Having been elected to the Congress, I went on to the House Committee on Public Works and Transportation. And I spent 8 years on the Aviation Subcommittee. And so Aaron Gellman was one of those people who I used to consult with when he was still at the University of Pennsylvania. And then eventually he moved to the Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern University. And we used to always talk about Evanston because I did my 7th and 8th and my 9th grade in Evanston, Illinois, and he lived in Skokie, and I used to talk about, or Wilmette, and I used to talk about bicycling up Sherman Avenue to the Wilmette area and see the Baha'i Temple. But here's a person who, in 1992, made that move to the Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern University. And his expertise was not only as it related to aviation, but to transportation as a whole. And there are many people in this room who are beneficiaries of his knowledge because while he was at Northwestern, he set up a transportation center and had a number of people on that board advising him. And it was really not so much advising him as it was we who were members of that center who were the beneficiaries of his tremendous knowledge. And so over the years, he has used professorship, consulting business, any way he could to talk about advancing transportation. And among those other projects that he loved and wanted to participate in was here at Foundation. And he was just really unrelenting in terms of the amount of time that he spent here at the Center. And so this Wilbur S. Smith Friend of EnoAward goes to Professor Aaron Gellman. Now he was here at a Next Gen working group meeting just 2 weeks ago. And in fact, after the meeting was over, Secretary Burnley and I had a chance to spend some time with Aaron. And it was soon after that he was hospitalized when he went back to Wilmette. So, as Josh indicated, we all wish him a speedy recovery. But by the same token, want to thank him immensely for all of the work that he has done in terms of advancing transportation, in being a friend to the Center for Transportation, and for being a friend to all of us in the transportation industry. All of us have benefited from his vast knowledge, and so we wish him a speedy recovery. And so I guess you're going to, Josh, accept the award on his behalf and make sure we get it to Professor Gellman. But again, Aaron, thank you very much for all that you've done, and congratulations on this honor.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Aaron not being here doesn't prevent him from saying a few words. He gave me a few things he wanted me to convey. And just on a personal note, Aaron Gellman gave me my first, second, third, and fourth jobs in transportation. So he's obviously been someone who's been very important to me. If not for the fact that my father happened to be in a faculty meeting with him at Northwestern, I don't know that I would ever have gotten into the aviation world. So I really appreciate that. Professor Gellman wanted me to convey a few things to the LDC fellows. He said that by choosing transportation, you've chosen to be part of a vast continuum that will bring great excitement in your career. And sometimes you'll be able to make good choices, but sometimes the choices you make will be forced upon you. But Professor Gellman believes very strongly that there's an important role for the government and there's an important role for the private sector in transportation. And the government role should be looking ahead to identify the issues that will arise, and the private sector should be addressing those issues. And this should not be reversed. It's critical that each of these components recognize their relevance in transportation in order for transportation to be a success. The problem with the way that we do big transportation improvements currently is that the government provides design specifications for transportation when they should provide performance-based specifications. And that providing design-based specifications has been a challenge for two of the biggest transportation improvements of our time, both air traffic control, which Dr. Gellman's involved in with the Next Gen group, and positive train control, both of which are examples of the government specifying the outcome in terms of the hardware instead of the outcome in terms of the performance. And Dr. Gellman believes very firmly that the role of government is to competently set performance goals and outcomes, while the role of the private sector should be to come up with solutions. And I think that's something that he has conveyed very clearly throughout his career. It's some wisdom that he's come across after working across many sectors of transportation. One final word I'll say about Aaron Gellman. I was just talking to David Clayton about this. It was one of the jobs that Aaron got me was being an intern for David Clayton in 1996. And you know, Aaron is one of those people who has a limitless flow of ideas about how to improve things and to make things better, especially in transportation. Every time I see him, every time he comes here for a Next Gen Working Group meeting or a Board of Advisors meeting, he sits me down for at least an hour or two to give me all the ideas in his head about what he knows should be doing and how we can make a difference in transportation. I would say that about 50% of them are viable, and that's a pretty good percentage. Many of them have been implemented throughout the years at Eno. And there's really no greater partner than you could have than someone who's looking out for you and giving you ideas about how you can do things better and how you can make a difference in the world. So with that, I'll just say thank you so much, and I'm really sorry that Aaron couldn't be here, but I'm pleased to accept the award on his behalf and deliver it to him. So thank you very much. All right, before I bring up our next speaker, we do have the third and final round of trivia questions.